好，咁而家各位就排一排位先。
Now let's have a photo session.
好，咁首先我哋第一張啦，就係大家係俾大家影咗先，就唔攞任何道具住。咁前排嘅記者朋友先啦。
Now the reporters in the front row, please.
好，跟住後排嘅記者朋友。
Now media friends in the second row.
好，得唔得？好，跟住第二張咧。
Now second photo, our guests and the officials will hold our poster cards. Now today's star mentors are Dr. Ho Park Chung, the chairman, the founding chairman of the Hong Kong Harmonica Association, and also Ms. Li Ho Ching, Do Hoi Kam, and Ms. So, the Olympic winners of table tennis, and also Mr. Edgar Zhang, Olympic champion.
好，跟住後排同事，可能前排同事可能燈踎低一啲。好啦，咁 OK 嘅話咧，我哋影第三張。
Now the third photo. Now Dr. Ho and Professor Ho, please be seated. Athletes from the Hong Kong Sports Institute and also Mr. Lam Dai Fai, the chairman of the HKSI, will take a photo.
好，咁亦都係啦，前排同事影先。
Reporters in the front row. Reporters in the second row. 好啦，都差唔多啦。咁我哋最後一張相。 Now the last photo. Athletes from the HKSI, please be seated. Now the last photo. The three officials, also members of the task force, will take photo session. Reporters in the front row, please. And then reporters in the second row.
好，咁都差唔多啦。咁麻煩
Thank you. Please be seated, officials.
好啦，咁依家係我哋嘅簡報會第。
Now, moving on, may I invite the Chief Secretary for Administration to brief us on the Strive and Rise program. Thank you. Media friends, good afternoon. Thank you for attending today's program briefing on the Strive and Rise program. Now I will brief you on the details of the program. In his manifesto, the Chief Executive has mentioned his vision to build a caring and inclusive society and enhance upward mobility for our youths, to introduce a pilot scheme with defined scope and contents to address intergenerational poverty by targeting children in poor families living in subdivided units. The objectives are to promote collaboration of governments, business, and the community to facilitate more support for the children's needs in life, study, and personal development. Now, that is the objectives mentioned in the Chief Executive's manifesto.
And against this background, the Chief Executive appointed me to set up a task force on this matter. We are enhancing collaboration between government, business, and the community. And the target of this program is the secondary 1 to 3 students from underprivileged families, particularly those living in subdivided units. The quota is 2,000 students. And the purpose of the program is to broaden the students' horizons, reinforce their self-confidence, and develop a positive outlook on life, set goals for the future, and strive for upward mobility. The program will last for 1 year. And you may ask, now why 2,000? That is because this is a pilot program, and we will be reviewing the program as we go along. And we will be optimizing the program, and the quota will be expanded going forward. Now we try to broaden their horizons, enhance their self-confidence and positive outlook, and strive for upward mobility. All these purposes are the result of discussions with the welfare sector and the academia, and all these will be instrumental to helping the underprivileged students. In this program, there are 3 main elements. The first one is personal development plans. There will be a mentorship program, and each student will be paired up with a volunteer mentor who will inspire the mentees to explore more possibilities for personal development, develop action plans, and make good use of financial resources. The children in these underprivileged households don't have the opportunities to broaden their horizons in life. And we hope that the volunteer mentors will inspire the mentees to explore more possibilities. And they should venture out of their comfort zone in the family. They should have their horizons broadened. They should devise an action plan in life and seek to achieve these objectives on a step-by-step basis. We do offer financial support. We're offering $10,000, which is divided into 2 phases. And we have the $5,000 startup sum, and the mentors will be giving the guidance about how the money is going to be spent. People do differ, and the mentors will guide the mentees as to how they will best spend the money. Upon completion of the program, there will be a $5,000 scholarship, and the student would be at liberty to decide how to spend the money. And we hope that the mentee will be approaching the mentor again, and the mentor will discuss with him or her whether the money is well spent. Financial planning will be important to the growth of the students, and through this financial planning, we hope that we will show how the money should be best spent. We do have some criteria for the mentors. They have to be aged 21 or above, preferably the younger ones. We prefer the younger ones because we were told that if they are paired up with someone of similar age, there will be better communication. We'd like to achieve the best possible effect. So we do prefer younger mentors, and they have to be in employment, and they will be able to offer job shadowing in the mentor's workplace. And the mentees can tag along to go to the workplace and try to find out how things work, in the workplace. And they should also be able and willing to communicate with the young people. They should be responsible and committed and have positive mind and optimistic character. They must have rich life experience to be shared with the mentee openly and frankly. And they should also take part in the one-year program. These mentors will exert a lot of influence on the mentees, and we hope that their experience can be shared with the students. More importantly, they should let the mentees know that not everything is plain sailing in life. There are bound to be setbacks and failures along the way in the course of life. Now, we have so many athletes, and they are medalists themselves, but I'm sure that in their sporting career they must have experienced all manner of setbacks, and the mentees should learn about all these setbacks and failures in life, and they should be imbued with some positive outlook in life. We'd like the business sector to take part. Now, as I said in the policy address, the chief executive would very much like to have collaboration of government, business, and the community, and this is going to be standing us in good stead. Now, what is the role of the business sector? First, we hope that the business sector will nominate some mentors with rich life experience, and they can organize inspiring group activities. It would be really good, and we should be grateful if they can organize these kind of activities. And there should also be job shadowing opportunities for the mentees to understand how things work in the workplace. And we are offering $10,000 to the mentees, and we hope that there will be sponsorship and donations on the part of the business sector. Now, for the whole year program, there will be 5 different aspects to it, and this is an integration between theory and practice. First, orientation. Second, basic training, including compulsory and elective sessions. Third, mentor-mentee interaction. And fourth, diverse group activities. And fifth, graduation ceremony and network building. I'm going to go into details about them one by one. Now, in terms of diverse activities, we do have interactions with the STAR tutors. Now, we had a number of tutors, and they are only too delighted to guide the mentees and interact with them. We have a director, and we can help the mentees with the language abilities. Many of them told me that they would like to enhance their English proficiency. We have, for this purpose, invited Professor Low to give guidance to the mentees as to how they can enhance their language proficiency. And there are also musical instruments. We have an expert here who is really specialized in harmonica, and there are also a whole host of other activities that are on offer for the mentees. First, orientation session. The students, the mentors, and the parents will be invited to come along and understand the objectives of the program and consolidate their commitment. And we will introduce the students and the parents or guardians to the mentors. And third, we conduct a pre-program assessment on mentees, mentors, and parents and guardians.
Now, with the pre-program assessments, we can assess the efficiency and also the results of the program after the program. And also through the pre-program assessments, we can have some basic understanding about the mentees. Then in matching mentor and mentees, we will base our matching on the assessment. Now, under our program, there are basic training which are compulsory for the mentees. First, life planning sessions. Professional tutors and mentors will help mentees to draw up life plans, and also on capacity building. We will help mentees to enhance their self-understanding, their proactiveness, motivation, communication skills, and problem-solving skills. Now, we find communication skills to be of particular importance. Now, for children in underprivileged families, their communication skills are often weaker, which would cause lower self-esteem and also weaker interpersonal skills. And also, we would help the mentees to develop financial planning concepts and skills. To achieve your life goals, you need to have certain knowledge and skills to manage your finance. We will also offer courses to mentors to help them understand youth and also master mentors' role and skills. For parents and guardians, we will organize workshops to help them learn parenting and communication skills. Through the collaboration between mentees, mentors, and parents or guardians, we can make the program a success. Now, we also have elective sessions based on a personal preference. For example, skills improvements on English and Chinese. We expect that we will have ethnic minority mentees among our participants. So we will have programs to help them enhance their Chinese skills. We will also have sports and musical instruments classes. On sports and on musical instruments, we have star tutors to conduct our programs. We will also conduct arts class and classes on social etiquette. That is very important. Mentees would be taught the correct social etiquette, to show respect to others and the proper manner. And also we will offer guidance on future studies. Now, we understand this may be the school's arena, but sometimes the mentees have difficulties finding people to answer their concerns. So our mentors would help them on the future studies. There will also be support on physical and mental health. So for elective sections, we will offer a wide variety of choices for our mentees. Thirdly, mentor-mentee interactive sessions. We will assist mentees to formulate personal development plans with specific development goals and financial plans. Now, mentors will actively listen to mentees' needs and give them time and guidance to explore their own solutions. Importantly, mentors are to share the life experience with the mentees, to let the mentees know everything is possible, despite unfavorable circumstances. It will not limit their future development. And also the mentors will arrange visits to their workplace to show them what work is like. So we will have a job shadowing. Mentees will also be invited to join other activities to widen their social network. Now, from our interaction with the mentees, with the potential mentees, sometimes there are very little social interaction between the students and the rest of the society. Sometimes they haven't even been to other districts in Hong Kong. So we would like to help the mentees to expand their social network and the horizon. Now, we hope there will be interactive sessions between mentor and mentee. Mentors will participate in the orientation session, the pre and post program assessments, basic training, group activities, and also the graduation ceremony. Now, of course, the interaction can be conducted through a face-to-face meeting, telephones, or other social media. but we do encourage mentors to reach out to mentees more actively. Better communication will make the program more effective. We will also have diverse group activities to broaden the mentees' horizon. We want to expose the students to more occupations and also the operation of government departments and organizations. Visits will be arranged to private corporations, and there will be interactions with management personnel, including traditional big names, new enterprises, or famous Hong Kong brands. Now, we will also arrange visits in Science Park and Cyberport and the Productivity Council to help students understand the developments of emerging sectors. There will also be visits to public bodies and utilities, including the Hong Kong Sports Institute, the West Kowloon Cultural District, and also the Hong Kong Palace Museum, MTR facilities, airports, electricity supply facilities, and so on. On government facilities, students will get to visit the headquarters of the Hong Kong Observatory and the Civil Aviation Department. Now, sometimes some students from underprivileged families have never been on a plane, so we will arrange a flight experience for mentees so that they can fly around in the sky of Hong Kong and experience flying. Now, a lot of students are interested in the work of the disciplinary forces, so we will arrange visits to the base of our emergency units, Customs Marine Base, Fire and Ambulance Services Academy, Immigration Services Institutes, and also a hangar of the government's flying service and the correctional facilities. Now, we will also arrange volunteer services, including visits to elderly persons and persons with disabilities. The objective is to help the mentees to learn to give a helping hand, and that would be the way to achieve to drive the society forward. Now, on graduation ceremony, we will invite the mentors, participants, and donors, and also give award to well-performing participants. All mentee upon a successful completion of the program will receive a $5,000 scholarship. Of course, we hope that the mentee would discuss with the mentor on how to spend the money well. Now, we will also establish an alumni association to sustain and expand the social network between mentors and mentees. So, after the one-year program, mentor and mentees will not simply say goodbye to each other. We will sustain the network. We expect mentors to sustain an extent of a connection with the mentees. When the mentees encounter further questions in life, mentors would be there to give support to mentees. So we won't simply part way after the program. We will maintain the connection between the people. As a result, the mentees will have a wider network of support network. So for graduates, we will have a resource group. Now, when these graduates join the workforce, they will be able to give support to other mentees in return. Now, for the next steps, we will collaborate with the business sector. We will issue letters to business sector and the professional associations inviting a nomination of mentors, and we will invite them to organize group activities and provide donations for the program.
We'll also be liaising with the secondary schools. We'll be recruiting the mentees in early September, and then we'll be matching thereafter. And orientation session will take place in October. And in terms of publicity, there will be publicity when recruitment is underway. And I hope that the mentees, the welfare sector, when they receive this publicity information, they will all take part, so that we would be doing something good for the young people. And once again, I'd like to thank the star tutors. Their participation certainly will mean so much to us, as the MC mentioned earlier. Our gold medalist fencing, Mr. Edgar Cheng and Ms. Li Ho Cheng, Du Hoi Kim and Minnie So, the table tennis medalist, and Mr. Ho Pak Chung for the harmonica, and Dr. Low, Education University's Vice President. I'm really grateful to her for helping the mentees with their effort to enhance their language proficiency. We're also privileged to have invited a famous conductor, Miss Ewing Si, who is not here today, and Miss Yu Kok has also undertaken to take part in the program, and our grateful thanks to all of them for that. We hope that through with these star tutors, the whole program will be so much more attractive, and the underprivileged children will not be limited by their underprivileged households. And I'm also grateful to Mr. Lan Tai-Fai for being part of the program. The Sports Institute has given us so much support. That's basically all I have to say for the time being. Myself and my colleagues will be only too pleased to take your questions. Thank you. All right, it's now time for questions. Please raise your hands and also identify the organization you represent, and please wait for the mic to come to you. Because of the sheer number of reporters, please limit yourself to 2 questions and no follow-up, please. Lady in grey, in the middle row, TVB. CS, you said that the students can take part in the programs, and the mentors will show them how to spend the $5,000. Now, they take part in these sporting program and the music programs. Do you think that they will only take the $5,000 to support their family, and that there is no way you can broaden the horizon, and this is not achieving the purpose that you set out to achieve? There are so many NGOs and schools that are running similar programs over the years. Now, this program is spearheaded by the government. What is the difference between your program and the programs run by the community? Why don't you sponsor and coordinate the NGOs in pushing these programs to achieve better effectiveness? What about other people other than the SDU students? Right, thank you for your question. For the $5,000, the mentors and the mentees will be taking the decisions together. We're not dictating the way in which the money is going to be spent. If the student is having a good sense of filial piety, and he's very concerned about the family, and if he wants to hand over the money to the parents to sort out the financial problem of the family, we don't have an objection to that at all. So it's a matter of choice for the student. The mentor will guide him along, of course. We said that there are volunteer mentors, and they are really wonderful people. I've met some of them, and the response has been really overwhelmingly positive, and they're very supportive of this program, and they are doing this free of charge on a pro bono basis. if the mentees would like to learn musical instrument, they can certainly continue, and they will not be stopping at some point. For the brilliant ones, for those who are really excelling in sports, I'm sure that Mr. Lan Tai-Fai would be interested in them. In our community, there are so many committed people, so many committed NGOs that are running these kind of mentorship program, that the government is launching this, and we do have the resources available to take forward the program. Say, for instance, you saw Mr. Eka Zheng, the fencing gold medalist. I don't think many people would be able to rope in Mr. Eka Zheng, but for us, we are really grateful that he's becoming part of this program, so that we can find it easier to take this forward. At the end of the day, we hope that the mentees will stand to benefit. That's why the Chief Executive is so concerned about the junior secondary students who are living in subdivided units. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that these people need help. We need to broaden the horizon. We need to give them an opportunity to interact with the star tutors, and that way they will understand that there are so many possibilities in life. There are many successful people who are coming from humble background. They're so brilliant because of the hard work that they put in. This is something that the values they would like to instill in them. We do treasure these young people in the underprivileged families. As President Xi said, young people are so important to Hong Kong. They matter a great deal to Hong Kong. Next, please. A gentleman in white in the middle row, please. Now TV. There is a quota of 2,000. Each secondary school will have a very small number of students taking part. What about those who do not get admitted? How would they be able to get a chance? The government is offering a total of $10,000 as an incentive. Do you think that this is good enough to lift them out of poverty? And how is it different from the consumption voucher scheme? Well, this is vastly different from the consumption voucher scheme. That we're offering $10,000. We're not just handing over the cash to them. As I said to you, we are guiding them how they should spend the money well. So they have to learn how to manage the finance. The whole point is not about the $10,000. It's all about how they plan their finance. In our discussion with the welfare sector and also from literature, we get to understand that if the young people cannot master the financial planning, it will not be good enough. So this is important. As I said, this is only a pilot scheme, and this will be expanded going forward. When we recruit the mentees, basically we do it through schools and we do it through NGOs.
Now, if there are more applicants than there are places, we will first give priority to secondary free students because they would not be eligible to next year. Now, for Form 1 and Form 2 students, for unsuccessful candidates, we would invite them back to the program. Of course, we will review the results of the program. and also the contents of the program. If there is room to significantly increase the quota places, we will definitely do that. Next question, the gentleman with glasses. Good afternoon, I'm from Menpao Daily. 2 questions. On the program, would the government set a KPI for the program? And how would you assess the impact of the program in 1 year's time? Would there be objective indicators, for example, significant improvements of language skills of the mentees, or standards, objective standards, criteria to gauge the musical sports skills of the mentees? And what about the post-program assessment? How would you assess the improvements of the mentees of the program? Now, second, on selection criteria. So we have the targeted students. You would give priority to Form 3 students. What about the family income of the families of these students? Would there be objective standards, say a certain level of median household income, or whether the family's income is below the poverty line? Now, in terms of mentors, how would you select the mentors? Who will be the one in charge of selecting the mentors? Would you give priority to people from certain background, say people nominees from political parties or schools? Now, for people with a democratic political background, will they be eligible? Thank you for your questions. On KPI, now we will conduct a pre and post program assessment. We will invite universities to help us gauge the change in the mentees. We are not talking about skills, but the mindsets of the students. Do they know the goals, and do they know more about the situation of Hong Kong and the employment market of the program? We are not talking about taking piano examination or being better at playing a sport. We are not talking about techniques, but personal growth. There will definitely be assessment. That is also a tool to gauge the success of the program. Now, there are 2 criteria for students. First, subdivided units families, and then junior secondary school students between Form 1 and Form 3. We will not look at the household income, nor the academic achievements of the students. It carries no effect at all. We will take students who perform well or poorly in academics, as long as they meet the 2 criteria I mentioned. Now, in terms of matching between the mentors and mentees, we would extend invitation to the business sector for nominations. Now, the consideration is how they match up with the mentees. Now, let's say if a mentee wants to become a doctor, then we would match him up with a doctor. Political consideration is not our consideration at all. In terms of people from the democratic background or the pro-establishment background, we are not trying to inculcate a political position in the students, but rather we want to help them set their life goals. We are not trying to make the students rich in the future. We just want to broaden their horizon and enrich their experience, so that they have an idea what they want from life. Say if someone wants to become a dentist, then he or she has to know how to get there, and what goals must he or she set to get there, to realize the dream. It might not be a very financially rewarding occupation. Maybe someone wants to be a teacher or a social worker, and we will also help them to get there. Next question, please. The lady over there.
China Morning Post. Some critics have been questioning in the perspective of the use of public money, would it be more effective for the CS to have a full review of the anti-poverty policy instead of making efforts to coordinate a mentorship program for 2,000 students? Would you consider delegating the coordination work to the departments or the NGOs? And in the long run, do you have a roadmap in mind how the issue of cross-generational poverty would be tackled? Thanks.
Thank you for your question. I think it is very important that in the Chief Executive's manifesto, he suggested that we should tackle the cross-generation poverty issues for those junior students living in subdivided units. So this is our target. So we think, after discussing with some scholars and after referring some surveys, we know that our program will suit the need of the students and will help them to achieve their life goals. And we think that by doing so, we will enrich their personal experience and also their understanding to Hong Kong and also to other areas of other occupations, the details. So we think that this is very important. I believe that this will help them to achieve their own life goals. And we believe that this is, in fact, this is not public money, I repeat. This is, we receive donations from some big companies and commercial sectors. And we trust that after 1 year, these students will surely know better themselves. And then they will also they will be able to set up their own life goals, and then they know how to achieve their goals. For other poverty issues, I'm not sure if Chris would like to supplement.
Yeah. Thank you, CS. Clearly, this project is a targeted approach to deal with a very specific problem. At the same time, the CS is also leading the government in tackling poverty from a different angle. So we should see this project as a demonstration of how to deal with poverty problem in a very targeted approach. So coming forward, I'm sure the CS will lead the whole government to deal with poverty problems in a very specific way. And later on, clearly, once we have formulated more targeted approach to deal with the poverty problem, we find a suitable time to share with the public. Thank you.
好，我哋今日問多謝。
The last question, please. The reporter in blue. Good afternoon. Secretaries, I am from One Way Power. Now, how much time will the mentors spend with the mentees? Will they all be recruited on a voluntary basis? Now, in terms of the number of beneficiaries, there are only 2,000 quota places. So will it be on a first come first serve basis?
The mentors are volunteers themselves. They're doing it on a pro bono basis. We hope that through this program, we can encourage more citizens to take part in voluntary work, and this is terribly meaningful voluntary work here. As I said, the 2,000 is only for the first phase. If the program is oversubscribed, in other words, if we have more than 2,000, then we'll prioritize the Form 3 students first, because the following year they would not be eligible anymore. So we prioritize Form 3 first, and there will be a review thereafter. And if we can expand the capacity to accommodate more students, then certainly we will do so. And we hope that we can cover as many students as possible in the program going forward. And with this Strive and Rise program, I'm sure that the mentees will stand to benefit a lot. And this is making or preparing them for the future. That's it for today. Well, let's pick the last question. All right, go ahead, please. For the business sector, we haven't quite started making the invitation, but I am pleased that prior to me approaching them, they did approach me to say that they would very much like to give sponsorship. They give sponsorship in cash and in kind, and we, as I said, we hope that the business sector will support as much as possible. I'm sure this is going to be very effective. I'm really glad to see that the business community is so supportive and so passionate about this meaningful cause. And I take a lot of encouragement from that. We'll be approaching them tomorrow. If you fail to secure the sponsorship, how much public money will be involved? I'm sure that there will be enough sponsorship. I am confident in that. But for the time being, what the government will shell out some money, of course, like with the money that we raise from the business community will be spent on the beneficiaries. For the other expenses where necessary, the government will cover them, and they will not be included in this program. And the sponsorship for this program will certainly be spent on the students and all the targets in this poverty alleviation exercise. Thank you very much for coming.